My name is Nancy, and I am working on my Icad 47. Let's write that down there, number 47. Well, you still can't see it. Prompt for this today is layering. So I'm going to start my first layer with text like we always do in mixed media. I mean, it's like, what else do we do? So I'm going to do this, tear up some text. I keep a bunch of books on hand for this. I tear pages out of, but I'm really careful because I don't want to get books that have explicit sex scenes in it, or cuss words, or whatever, things that you might take, except your children might have fun with finding. So we're going to use decoupage to put this on. And it doesn't matter whether the text is right side up or down. The thing is, text is providing, let's put a little behind it. The text is providing a noise, so to speak, a visual texture to the back of your page so that it doesn't look just all plain Jane. And, through the years, we found that as mixed media artists, we found that that's a great way to do it, using text. And so I go to the Salvation Army and pick up law books, medical books, and they serve a dual purpose because those books usually are heavy. So when I need a heavy book to flatten out something, I just take one of those books and flatten it out. Sometimes I find where I've put stuff in it. I have one book, I found some leaves I put in it from last fall. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do with those leaves, because you can't throw something like that away. So they're still there in that book. I get this all. Trying to get my text to go every which way. I don't want them all the same way. Almost done. And I'm being a little careless here with the gluing, because this isn't going to go anywhere but in the index box. It's not going to go in the mail or whatever. Put that in the water. Seal this up. I'm going to take my heat gun to it. Alright, here's my scissors, and cut those edges off. So that's one layer. Text with decoupage. Did I mention that the prompt for today was layering? I hope so. Okay, I'm going to get these out of the way. So the next thing I'm going to do is put some texture paste on it. And I make my own texture paste out of dried X. And I made a video of it if you want to see it. And here's my homemade video, a homemade texture. Do I want to use this? No, we'll use this. It's kind of runny because it's freshly made. So it's going to take a little care. And I make my stencils on my Silhouette Cameo by cutting cardstock out so that when I'm through using them, I can just throw them in the trash and not worry about cleaning them. I get, you know how you get all these papers that you never use? You buy a pack and there's, out of the 30, maybe there's 10 that you will never use. You don't care for, but you love the others, so you buy the pack anyway. Well, this is what I use some of them on for. I'm trying to build this up a little bit because it is kind of, there we go, kind of runny. By tomorrow it will be thick, but because it's a fresh road, it's kind of runny. Should dry fast. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Put a little bit right here. There we go. And like I said, I'm going to throw that away if I want. I might hang it out to dry for a little bit, let it out to dry, and it might just be fine to use again. We will see. Heat gun again. Hot, hot, hot. Hot, 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 hot. All right, so we have 2 layers. Now then, I think it's gesso time. Gesso time. Gesso time. Seal this stuff in. I'm going to use a commercial one instead of my homemade one. Not a commercial one, store-bought one instead of my homemade one. Because I want the gel in there to seal that texture paint for me. Or that texture paste for me. You ever used your texture paste and painted over it and it picked up every little color, or used texture paste on top of a color? I want this kind of sealed in. And acrylic gesso, which this is white acrylic gesso, that meant they put white acrylic paint in there, will help seal that. And guess what? Heat gun. Don't do as I do, do as I say. You're not supposed to hold your heat gun that close to your paper. If you do, you better watch really carefully because that stuff will start to bubble up. Okay, that's not quite dry. Let's do it a little bit more. All right. Next layer. I think we'll do some watercolor through gelatos. No, not gelatos. Let's use real watercolors. Water-based watercolors. Gelato have a wax-based color because, you know, they're crayons. Crayons are wax-based. And I want some real watercolors. And we'll use the same brush we did our decoupage with. What colors shall we do? Let's make a rainbow. No, I don't want a rainbow. Maybe I'll just use the colors I never get to use on my water. Let's see what that color is. Ooh, no, I don't want to go purple because we'll get mud out of that. No, we'll just start with mud. That's black. Let's start with brown. And I know this is not the way you're supposed to do it. There we go. We'll do it the right way. And let's see if we can make that texture show up. Oh yeah, see the texture show up? I want the texture to show up if you do it right. Brown. Let's do See, you could make it disappear if you don't do it right. Gotta rub it on. See, can you see the texture showing up? Maybe not. Let's go with orange. And brown again. There we go. And you can't really see too much of that color, but it's there. And it's barely got any on. It's dry. It says I barely got any on. It's dry already. Now let's see. It's time for rubber stamping. And let's see. I have this stamp and this stamp. Maybe one more. A number stamp. I'm not sure if I'm going to stamp the whole thing or not, but let's use a permanent base. Let me get my archival. And I think I'm going to go with blue. Add a different color onto here. Blue. See, that looks pretty good. And then dots. Just a few dots. And I'm not going to even worry about some dots. Dots. Where we're going with this, I don't know yet. I'm not going to use the number stamp. Just zap it a little bit so it doesn't. Okay. What does that suggest to y'all? Nothing yet. Let's doodle. Let's just put some doodling on it and call it a day. What do I have to doodle with? Permanent chalk. I want this to build up to be kind of thick. I had no idea what that is, but I'm liking it. Need to Find a scrap piece of paper and get this chalk off my pen. There we go. Then I'm looking for my white marker, my Posca marker. There it is. Because we're going to do something with these dots. Just a doodling is all we're doing. A layer of doodling. There we go. There's a layer of doodling. And now we just need a word, a focal point of word. Let me get my word box out. And let's see. I found that. I thought that was so funny. Be up for it. Tickle pink beauty. No, that's not. Ask. If you don't know what it is, ask. Maybe y'all can think of what that is. List beauty. Rethink. Rethink. That's kind of an interesting word for that. Rethink. Rethink. Don't ask me how it fits. Just in my mind it does, and I guess that's the only mind that matters, isn't it? In my mind it fits. Let me get my glue and put it on. Maybe you need to think in the first place instead of rethink. Let's think in the first place. If I thought where I was going to go with this in the first place, I wouldn't have to rethink it. Rethink. All right, let me get my Stabilo pencil. One of my favorite tools. And I saw someone do this the other day. They took a ruler and they did this to make sure they didn't mess up their edge. You know, you're going along the edge and oops, you go in the middle of it, and that's not what you kind of planned on doing, but you're just trying to get a frame. I thought, oh, I'm always doing that, making mistakes that way. And I always say, well, that just adds character. Well, it does in a way, but why have to find excuses? All right, let me get my watercolor pen. Here we go. And we're going to activate the stabilo. I think that's the word they use. Activate. Framing it in so the eye knows where to go. Stop. Framing it in. All right, we put the gesso on. Though we might need, if I was going to go anywhere else with this, I would put some acrylic gel on it just to seal it in, because I'm feeling kind of rough. But basically it's done except for being sealed. Maybe some lacquer on it would work. Icad 47. Thank you for watching.